Hey Professor, I'm Ariel Maharukin and this is my 5 to 10 minute video about the second lab in this class, the lab about circular motion. In this lab we're going to learn about centripetal force and something called centrifugal force. And it's going to involve some lab supplies and some pre-lab questions, lab procedures, and then post-lab questions. So first we need some measuring tape because we need to measure out about 1 meter of fishing line and tie it through this metal rod here. And when we tie it through that metal rod, you're going to see I tied 1 washer to one end and then several washers, 4 to be exact, on the other end. This makes one end heavier than the other, and we're going to spin it to see how centripetal force works exactly. And on this fishing line, you can kind of see I marked the 0.15 meter mark, the 0.25 meter mark, and the 0.4 meter mark right there. And you mark it with your permanent marker, cut the line with your scissors, and then these are just some excess washers. I got my pen and pencil here to mark down my values. You need some notebook paper to write down your pre-lab, your values, and then your post-lab. And then of course, I got AMU website at the ready with some, with the lab experiment, with all the ingredients you need for our little experiment. And then we move on to when I actually did the lab, when you spin this, kind of like, let me see if I can demonstrate. So we spin it. Not sure how well that's coming up. You can probably see that. I'm spinning it on one of the lines that I marked. We do the pre-lab questions. And then on the other side, this is my experiment. I like to write down the actual tables, lots of formulas to figure out the period expected and then percent error. And then the post-lab questions. And essentially what we were supposed to find is that the shorter the radius, in other words, the 0.15 meter of the fishing line should have a faster period of revolutions because it's a shorter radius and there's less distance to travel in the same amount of time. You'll see that the 0.4 meters took the longest time with its revolutions and periods. And yeah, that is essentially the experiment. The hardest part of this experiment is to make sure when you're spinning the rod, to make sure the distance on the line is consistent so it can slip and like fall lower or higher above the distance marked on the line. So just be careful about that, and also make sure you're as accurate as you can with your timer. Personally, I think it's better to have somebody else time while you spin, but obviously not everyone can do that. So just watch out for that sort of thing. There's a lot of human errors that can go on. So, but good luck with that. Hopefully this made sense. You really just spin the line and you time it, and your values should speak for themselves. With centripetal force, the force is going inward towards the radius of the line. Centrifugal force is when it's pushing out, force is pushing out, which we found out through the pre-lab and the post-lab questions that is not what is going on. What is going on is centripetal force. So thank you for listening, and I hope I hope all the labs go this well moving forward. Bye-bye.